What is up, everyone? JD here. I hope you're doing well today. Got a little bit of a different video to do today. We're going to be looking at some of the tools that I use to maintenance my knives. Let's get into it. All right, guys, so we're going to be going through some of the stuff that I use to maintenance a lot of the EDC gear that I have, mostly pocket knives, but some other stuff too. We're going to run through this in no particular order. So first and foremost is going to be my stubby bit driver. This one here happens to be the Hyper Tough Walmart brand, but I have the Weeha stubby driver linked down below. This one really works nicely because I can lock it out so that it's solid left to right. I don't have to worry about it if I don't want to, but if I want to, I can ratchet tight. That's loose. And I can ratchet tight. So that's nice to have, to be able to lock it out, to use it every which way, any which way. And then I like this one, and I think the stubby is like this as well because it does have internal storage. And I do use the Weeha bits just because they're hardened bits and they tend to hold up and last a little bit longer. So I typically keep a T6, T8, and T10 here. For the occasion where I need anything bigger than that, I just keep them in the little Weeha sliding assorted bits, which I should bring out here because I didn't. Let me grab that really quick. So this is what I was referring to. So if I need something larger than a T10, like a T15 or something like that, I just keep this here, or T20, so that on the off chance that I need something those sizes, which is not as common as the T8, I have that available to me. Now this one here, I do like it a lot. It is not available currently, so I hate to show stuff that's not available, but I do keep an eye out to see if it does come available. I like this because it's kind of an all-in-one little case. This and the stubby typically live in the garage, so if I'm anodizing or if I'm down there working on something and I realize it needs to be tightened, it's nice that it can do that. So this, I believe, is advertised as like an electronic maintenance driver. It's nice because it does have on the back here a little bearing system so that you can spin it in hand, but it also has the ability to ratchet, so you can lock it and unlock it. If you want to ratchet your tools, you can do that as well. I typically just leave it in the middle. Where's the middle? There's the middle, and then I just use the bearing in the back to drive. The unique thing about this one, it has a magnet, but you can use a standard quarter bit in here. And then, as you can see, for the precision stuff, and I actually leave some Phillips heads and stuff like that in here as well, but I do have the smaller Weeha bits that will go down in there as well. So it's really cool that it has that ability. It's got good knurling here for grip, a little bit longer than what I typically use, but I do like this one here. And again, I do keep T8 and T6 in the smaller sizes just in case, but I'm generally using the quarter bit drivers, aluminum with a very nice coating. You know, my editor can double check to see if these have come back in stock, but I don't know if the micro marks are available anymore. And it was made in Taiwan, which I thought was really, really cool. So not a China made tool, but the bits might have been. Now I do want to just quickly highlight, this just keeps rolling. I'm just going to set it up on that handkerchief over there, which is why I have the other hank out here, because it keeps wanting to roll. But I do like this as well. It's got a little bearing system as well, a little T6 Weeha bit tool. This one's hardened as well, and it's held up well. I didn't want to kind of compare to see how this would hold up versus just using the T6 bits whenever it's necessary. But this is coming very handy. I've noticed that the fit on here is very tight on this one as well, but it continues to hold up well, and that's mostly because very rarely am I removing T6s. And very rarely am I having to exchange out pocket clips and or remove pocket clips to get to stuff. But it's a nice little piece to have if you have like a dedicated driver and you're using T8 and T10 a lot, to have this one on the occasion that you need to use it. You can just grab this. You don't have to swap out a bit in one of your tools. So I do like this little Weeha driver, and like I said, as you can see here, it spins on the back, which is a nice little pickup. But you know, this is it's going to require you to replace this at some point in time, and also to pick up another bit driver. And the one disadvantage I've noticed with it is it's kind of skinny, so it does make it a little bit hard when you need some leverage in case there is a bit that's in there. The next two that we're going to go over are going to be some of my, or the next three actually, are going to be more of my portable options. So this one here lives in my Datacrew water slide. I also have one of these in my actual downstairs pouch for my, what is that one called? My Maxpedition. Thought I forgot about it for a second. So this one here, it has a removable pocket clip, and that pocket clip also covers up the hole. You have some knurling here, and you have the ability to have some internal storage, which is one of the reasons that I really love this one, is because it does have that internal storage, and it does have a little washer there, a grommet, to keep moisture out and to keep it from getting wet. And then this one here is just a manual one. There's no spinning parts to it, but you can kind of spin it in hand and it'll do the job and get the job done if you just need a quick tightening or something like that, or if you need to do some maintenance while you're out in the field. It is nice for that. The threading is very smooth. I believe Scout Tool makes this for CRKT, if I recall correctly. Hold on, let me get it closed and we'll take a look. Yeah, where is it? Yeah, Scout Tool. Scout Tool, I had one of their drivers at one point in time, and I included that in a giveaway. I do like the pocket clip piece of it as well, because it does make it easy to kind of clip into the Maxpedition. And that's the same with this one here. This is a Kershaw tool. I found these to be a little bit nicer than just your generic Amazon ones. You can see it's kind of wearing the coating away. The pocket clip has spun around a little bit. But these are not your quarter bit drivers. These are your micro drivers here. And I did buy the Weehaw bits, again, 6, 8, and 10, the most common sizes that I use. Internal storage. I can't remember if this came with the grommet or if I stole this off of one of the Amazon ones that kind of, the magnet popped out of that one. So this one does seem like it's constructed a little bit better, but this one lives in the Micro Maxpedition that I carry in my backpack to work. So this makes it nice so that I can use this. And then the other one that I carry, and the one that goes to work, just in case it's not a captive pivot or something like that, is going to be the BitVault. So this one here, actually, nope, I apologize. This one, yeah, this one lives. I have one in my downstairs Maxpedition, and the Micro Maxpedition also houses this one. This one I do keep a Phillip and a flathead just because it's in my backpack and those could be useful. And then I have a 10, 8, and a 6 in here. So I do have these, and it does have a magnetized holder here, and it does allow you to get a little bit better detail leverage because it's flat. I've found that, like, for tightening stuff or loosening something that's very tight, it's nice to have this flat piece because it allows me to make sure that I have a secure fit, and then I can twist to cut it off. And then it does have, if you want to carry it on a key leash or something like that, and a pocket clip, and this just keeps it from moving around in here. But that is the lever gear. The one below that is the fingerbit driver. Now, I picked this up before they started making them at Skiffs as well, and this one works pretty good. It does have knurling around here, and it does take the 1/2 inch and the 1/4 inch bit drivers here. But I like this one because if it is not a captive and it's tight in the pivot, then I can use this to kind of hold the knife and be able to secure. I wish I had a knife nearby. I guess I don't have one that has a bit in it. But basically what I'm doing is just kind of securing the knife and the bit. And this allows me to kind of hold that still securely, and I can usually get it pretty flat, and then I can loosen it for those knives that don't have a captive pivot. And you know, it's a 3-pack, and they're fairly affordable on Amazon. And all of this stuff is going to be linked down below in case you're interested in any of this gear, regardless if it's available through an affiliate link or not. I'll make sure and link it down below so that you can get to these. The only one that might be hard might be the Macro, and then it would be the Weehaw stubby driver instead of the Hyper Tough, because that one's sold at Walmart, and like I said, I've had that one a long time, and it's, I It's held up so well. I've had no reason to buy another one. But I do like these for those captive pivots. They work nicely. I used to do the knuckle, but I found like it moved around too much. So what I had found was like kind of going into the webbing and holding onto the knife really makes it so that it's easy to securely kind of hold that in place and keep it from moving and keeping the knife from moving. And it doesn't require a lot of force. You just need a little bit of resistance, and then you can put all the strength into the free hand there. So these have worked really well for me. But I noticed that the Wiha one, the Skiff one has like spot to hold down in between your fingers, and that could make it a little bit easier to secure it in place. I've just gotten so used to doing it this way that when I'm holding the knife, I just find the right spot for the bit to go, and it works really, really well. The most used drivers are going to be the last three on the table outside of the finger bit one. That one does get a fair amount of use because of the non-captive pivot systems. But these are going to be your Griffin Company or Griffin Tool drivers. Let me see what these are called. Yeah, Griffin Company. Griffin Company drivers. They have different versions. So I think this was a V2 that they did in micarta, and I don't see these available on the website right now. This one lives with the Bit Vault in the Maxpedition downstairs. You know, if I'm downstairs and something's coming loose or something like that, it's nice to grab this one. I will say the micarta is very grippy, and I do like this one. But when you look at it for size, the version 3 here that's done in Ultem was a little bit longer, which I liked. It allowed for you to kind of get a little bit more or a little bit further back on that bearing so that when you're spinning these, and they spin pretty well. They're not super spinny, but they spin very nicely, and they make short work of anything that needs to go in and out. But I really do like the feel of the micarta. Oh, and they do have a V3, but it's out of stock. I didn't see it over here. So they do have this one in the V3 now. The V3, yeah, has the extra little lip here to get a little bit more of the bit down in there. So the bit fits down in there a little bit more securely. And it does push the bit out further, or you can choke up more if you want to. But the frag on here is nice, and these are good sizes because I like the thickness of them. They do make it very nice. Now this one sits upstairs as a secondary bit. I used to use it in place of the Wiha, and or if it's like a T8 pivot. And I just don't feel like I can get a secure purchase with the finger bit. I can use this one as well, so I can kind of get in there with the fingers, be extended out a little bit more, and then once the bit's kind of in there, I kind of secure the knife that way, depending on what I think is going to work best. I think usually I do kind of something like this, and then I can kind of secure it and pull it in place tight. And then what I'm doing is generally, once I have that knife in what I consider a secure position, coming in from the other side. And again, you don't need a lot of strength when you're doing it with the one that's kind of just holding the captive pivot still. But the one that I use the most, neither one of these are going to be affiliate links. I don't have any affiliate with Griffin Tool. I just really liked their drivers. This one here is going to be available on GP Knives. This is the Anzo Audacious Concept driver. I really like the stonewash one, but they have the satin finish as well. And this is really, really nice because it's slightly contoured, so you get a little bit of anti-slippage, and it's got more tightly done frag on here. And then I don't know if they still do it on the bearing part of it, but that has some frag on it as well. And what that does is it kind of gives a little bit of grip to keep it from kind of slipping on the back. And they all are magnetized, so they definitely hold that bit in there securely. And just to demonstrate, I forgot I had this bit here. You can see this bit looks like it goes to about the halfway point, and I think this one also went to the halfway point, but it just seemed like you have, I don't know why they changed that lip, to be honest with you. That one covers right under the half. This one goes right up to it. So a little bit more coverage, but it just seems to get the bit out further away from the bit driver. So maybe that's what it was, so that you could get it a little bit closer to what you needed to and it not be hitting, because they also chamfered it back more. So maybe that was something to do with getting close to whatever it is that these tools were being used for. But I do really like these a lot. They work nicely, but what I do like is I feel like this frag and then the size, the overall diameter size on the back of the Audacious Concept, that one seems to work a little bit better for me. The other thing that I'll mention too is that the Griffin tool are $99. So it does look like they changed this a little bit since this, because they're on a version 5 now, but these are coming in at $80, so they're roughly about $20 less, and you're getting titanium and or brass, it looks like. I'm not sure. Oh yeah, titanium, black PVD. No, they're all titanium. Yeah, they're all titanium. It just looks like one of them is anodized to look like brass. So these are all the tools that I use. I just thought it would be fun to kind of go through there and share with you guys everything that I've picked up along the way. You know, these are some of your more affordable style drivers over here on the left, and then it starts to get like what I would call medium price range. And you know, 80 for this one here, which is my favorite, I think is very affordable, and I still think even 100 for these really cool materials like the Ultem and the micarta are really, really cool. And it is very, very durable, very strong. There's no flex in here. So I'm thinking it's probably some sort of rod that's reinforced that goes all the way up, and they were able to coat it with the micarta, which is really cool. Let me know if you have any questions about any of these drivers. They're all, again, linked down below. Hopefully this has helped you a little bit with maybe what setup may work best for you. You know, I definitely have different setups depending on where I'm at and what I'm doing with them. But thanks for hanging out to this point of the video. It does help the algorithm. I appreciate each and every one of you. If you enjoyed that video on your way out, make sure you hit that like. If you're not subscribed, consider subscribing. I'd love to have you follow along. And a special thank you to all the channel members out there. I appreciate that extra layer of loyal support that you provide to the channel. It means a lot to me. I hope you all have a fantastic week, guys. I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.